Okay, everybody, we are here live today with my very good friend Jonah Nillson from Dirty Loops, the amazingly talented human being that we all know and love. And we're going to get this party started. And here's a little clip for you to enjoy before we get into chatting.
Feel like no one ever cares for me, 'cause I'm making all the time. But you keep knocking at my door to make me crazy. Not the type to ever change my mind. Do you still think I'm the best? Do you treat me like the rest? I feel like holding on to you, girl. Do you feel that it's still the best? The feeling manifests. I think I go for that. I think I go for that. I bought you a diamond ring. Got me up on your string. Gave you all my grain. I bought you a diamond ring. Got you the shiny things. All that you want and need. Giving it up, putting me down. Time to get up, back at the ground. Giving it up, feel like no one ever cares. I bought you a diamond ring. Just doesn't mean a thing. I can get you close to me. See the way you take control of me. You got me in between your lines.
Oh, nice fade. Awesome. I almost got up to start dancing.
Yeah.
No, it's awesome. You know, one of the things about your music that I really love is that you've got this kind of like pop sensibility that you can get into all these really funky places, but at the same time, like the muso in me is always like, oh, that's a really cool chord. I like that. That's awesome. And I just think that that's what makes that's one of the things that makes your approach so unique.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I definitely personally respond to it. It's always like, I want to hear that again. Figure out what the hell chord that was. Send it to my transcriber to figure out what did you land on.
Oh,
Put
yeah.
your hand like this and just that chord. That's cool.
Right.
Yeah. So how's it been going? Just give us an
Oh,
update.
it's been going well. I think it's a special time for us all, obviously, but it's been going quite well. I feel like once this whole thing, like when I accepted myself that we're in this pandemic thing, then I could start making music for real again, so I've been really busy with trying to make my own record, and also a record together with Corey Wong and Dirty Loops, so which also very recently has been released. So it's been a lot of things, like working really hard on stuff, but we're planning to do way more stuff, so yeah.
That's
Really
awesome.
excited.
So just to be clear, even for my own sake, I know your solo album came out because I played on it and I saw that for sure. But the
Yes.
Dirty Loops stuff, is that out? Something new, or is that
Yeah, it is. It actually is. Yes,
Oh my God.
it's a whole
So
record with a guitar player from I think he's from Minneapolis.
Minneapolis? Yeah.
Corey Wong, and then also the guys from Dirty Loops, obviously. So
Wow.
yeah.
Okay, I have my listening set up for me after we hang up. That's
Oh,
awesome.
dude.
God, you've been so productive. Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's I've been trying really hard to like get back into that. So there hasn't been any touring really, so might as well just lock yourself in here. Sweden is pretty good for that purpose. I feel like we can just stay in because it's so cold outside.
Oh, is it getting cold there already?
It's already getting like a tiny bit cold. It's not so bad right now actually, but
Right.
it will. It will.
Right. So, was that your first solo album? This one that you just released?
Yeah. It was. It was.
What did that feel like? What was the, you know?
Amazing, actually. It's actually something I have been working on for years, if I'm honest. Like
Yeah.
some of the songs, some parts of the songs were written when I was like 17 years old.
Wow.
So it's been like in the works and my whole life. And I felt like I always wanted to do a solo record, but I never really had the chance because Dirty Loops kind of took off, and other stuff started happening. So I really didn't find a place or like a time for me to finish that. So it's just recently happened. So I'm really really excited that it's finally released, and like that I can both move on
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
and also like be happy that it's out.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, it's a great accomplishment to like put something out like that, and a lot of people don't know how much work it is to make it happen. I mean, part of it
right.
is just like, you got to write the music and arrange it in the studio, but then there's also all the guests and all the production, and how do you
Yeah.
deal with all that?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You know how it is.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, especially when you're doing it. You're like when it's in your name basically. Where it's like, in my case, I had definitely some musicians, a bass player, Swedish bass player. You guys were doing solos. Like you did an amazing feature on that bad cover, but like other than that, it's basically been me playing all the instruments. So it's been an experience.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I know. I always
Yeah.
feel like when I do a solo album that it's like I spend half the time on the music and the rest of it is all the other stuff.
Right.
Everything, especially if there's guests involved and they're sending you tracks and then their schedule and then you've got to get it all mixed. And it's like it's
Definitely.
deep.
Yeah.
It's really deep.
It
And
is. Yeah.
you're basically making it happen on your own, like you said.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It is. It is something.
Yeah. So, but now that you did one, do you feel like, okay, I can do that? Like, let's,
Yeah. I
I can
mean,
do the next one.
right. Like weirdly, I feel like the first record is almost the hardest one to make because you kind of want to show everything that
Yeah.
you can do, but you know that's not really possible to show everything. So now, if I would go in to do like a second solo thing,
Yeah.
I would I would feel like I can, go more specific directions. Like I could do this, only this, and like
Yeah. Yeah.
do great songs in this genre or whatever.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be as spread out and as versatile as my first record was. But first one is always like making some kind of statement, and you want to make it a big statement, I guess. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like it's gonna be easier. I don't know, maybe not.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm sure that people, are really anxious to see like, Dirty Loops in concert, but I guess there's no plan for that
Well, there
at the
has
moment.
been plans, but they've
Yeah.
all been canceled all the time. But I guess like for 2022, like yeah, what did I say? 4,000? Did I say that?
Yeah,
No,
no, no.
I said
2022. You're really jumping ahead. This conversation's
oh yeah,
happening in the future.
yeah.
That's awesome.
My God,
Right.
like 2022. I hope we like next year we're gonna be able to go out and play everywhere. That's the whole plan, and like tour a lot. I really hope it's possible. And yeah,
Yeah, we'll probably see you like crossing in the airwaves, or maybe we'll even be in the same town together,
definitely.
which
Yeah,
would be
definitely. I hope so. I hope
which would
so.
be
That would be
nice.
good. That would be cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I have so many, I haven't spoken to you in a while, but it's just as far as from a music, composition, production point, I have a lot of my own like questions and, things that I want to
Cool.
talk to you about, which I guess I can.
Of course.
And then just to let people know, so after I don't know, like a few more minutes or so, we're gonna kind of close down the Facebook and YouTube side. Right now, you can wave to everybody because we're like talking to the world here. But then we're gonna bring it down to just my patrons on Patreon. So if you haven't checked out my Patreon, you can see the link. I'm sure it's right in front of you on the screen. Check it out. We'll be talking to Jonah for a while today, and there's also a bunch of interviews I've done with a lot of other people, and of course a lot of other stuff going on there. Please do check it out. So, but before we do that, so you and I come into this like music business, this music space with a certain level of background, and yours is very different than mine, but you have a lot of background because, well, first of all, I know you, but I can tell in your music, the kind of changes you're doing, the kind of rhythms that you do, the orchestrations. I would love to hear from you a little bit about, how you got where you got to.
Yeah, got it. Well, I guess it started by growing up in a musical family. Both my parents are classical musicians. So I grew up singing in church, like in a classical church with dad, like both mom and dad, from a very young age, and grew up on all kinds of classical music, doing a lot of choir, a lot of orchestra stuff. Dad is an amazing piano player, and both of them, both my mom and dad, are great singers. And I've got a lot free from that. And plus, like on my dad's side, my dad's sister, my aunt, is a vocal coach.
Oh wow!
So it's been like a lot of
built into the family. Oh my God!
right, yeah. So and yeah, my half sister and like my other half sister, both of them are married to the professional, one oboe player and one clarinet player. So it's like it's all very nerdy talk,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
classical stuff,
Wow.
music talk when we see each other at
Yeah.
like
Oh wow.
yeah. So I guess I got a lot from that, and then I just grew up on listening also to like when I wasn't doing classical music and like practicing classical music and classical piano playing in particular, I was listening to all kinds of music just on my own that I heard from either friends or cousins, or like Michael Jackson or Stevie Wonder, Nirvana, like
Yeah.
yeah, and later on you guys, obviously, when I started high school. So
Yeah.
there's just been a lot of stuff like being introduced to me early on and also later, I'd say.
Yeah. It's interesting to me to talk about it because, like, I'm coming from like a classical background, but then I got into prog and I like electronic music. So like you and I both share that kind of thing where there's a lot of different stuff to choose from.
Yeah.
It becomes kind of like a soup, if you will. But then to
Yeah.
actually decide career wise on how am I going
Right.
to take all that and what am I going to do with it?
Yeah,
That's yet another question, right?
definitely. And I guess, yeah, that is a hard one. I think by starting to realize like that you maybe don't have to limit yourself that much, but just allowing yourself to try out everything that you hear, that could like, yeah, just play around with different thoughts that you may feel are impossible to do. But I felt like uh, always growing up, listening to all this kind of music and like practicing and stuff, that I never really knew where my place was. I felt like everyone else had a very clear, like, he's doing jazz, that guy's doing jazz, and he wants to do classical music and just go into that. And I was
Right.
just like, I don't know what am I supposed to do? Like I don't feel like anyone feels the same way I do. So when we started Dirty Loops, I felt like that was our escape, all of us, the three of us, to kind of get out of everyone else's like feel and just live in our own little bubble and practice and do whatever we wanted together, which it still is to this day. Like that's like the essence of our group, and like me also as a person, that like as long as it can shock
Right.
both you and your audience, it's all good. Like it doesn't matter what it is, it's just music, really.
That's wonderful. So before we say goodbye to YouTube and Facebook, why don't you just take a second and tell people, the names of the albums that you just put out, where they can find them, and just a little, just a
Definitely.
word on
So
that.
yeah, my solo album is named Now or Never, and you can find it on YouTube, different like YouTube clips on the singles. Jordan is featured on Bad. Make sure to check that out, and also yeah, in all digital platforms, like what's it called, Spotify,
Spotify,
stuff
yeah.
like that. It's the same with the Dirty Loops album, YouTube and Spotify, and that album is called Turbo,
Turbo.
and it's featuring Corey Wong, Dirty Loops and Corey Wong, and some interesting stuff to listen to there if you're interested.
I love
Just
this. I love the Steve Vai solo on your
Oh.
solo album. That was really cool.
Oh,
About
thanks,
the way
dude.
it was,
Yeah,
the
he's
way it worked out.
amazing.
He was good. He played a great solo. He was his
He
high. He was like
really did.
his highest self.
Yes,
Doing the
yes.
magic.
I was blown
It was
away by
awesome.
that
Yeah,
solo.
yeah. If you guys haven't
Yeah.
heard it out there, you got to go check it out because Steve is playing. What's the name of the song he's playing on?
It's called Diamond Ring.
Oh, that's the one. Okay, that's a bit of what we were
Yeah,
doing
that's
at
the one you
beginning.
played. Yeah.
Yeah, super, super funky, cool, great stuff. All right, everybody. So, yeah, we're going to move to Patreon where we're going to be taking questions and hanging out. Maybe we'll even do a little bit of spontaneous jamming. I know you have a keyboard. I have my GeoShred here. Trombone sound ready to go. And we're going to have some fun. Yeah, I'm actually auditioning some new sounds here.
Oh wow.
So, yeah, we might get into that. I don't know. It could happen.
Oh,
Right?
definitely. Show
We
me.
don't
Yeah,
know. Yeah.
I'm interested.
Awesome. All right, so we're gonna make the switch. It'll just take a few seconds. Well, Danielle, my